Hello, here's Learning Check 3.01. You'll notice this is not a quiz. This is one where you are going to take notes. You're going to take notes on the two examples that I do, and then you're going to create your own example at the end. And that's what you're going to submit for the grade. So you don't have to write a reflection or a question or anything else like that. You are going to submit just your PDF of the assignment. So you're going to go take notes. I recommend taking notes on paper and then taking a picture of that. Put the picture in a Google Doc and then download as a PDF that has your least submission issues. All right, so we're talking about the crisscross today. This only works with ionic bonds, and that's when you combine a positive with a negative or a cation, because those positives are cations and the negatives are anions. Some good key terms to have written down. Okay, so if I have hydrogen, I want to combine hydrogen with sulfur, I'm going to write hydrogen and its charge. How do I know its charge? Okay, hydrogen is in group 1. Hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, and francium, all group 1. They all have a charge of +1. So that's what you want to write down either digitally on paper on this periodic table. So you have that as your cheat codes. Okay, these are your charge cheat codes. Okay. Hydrogen has a +1, so you put that in the subscript area and it absolutely needs to have a plus. We have to be absolutely sure it's the cation. And remember, the cation always goes first. And then we have sulfur over here, and he's an anion, so the anion goes second. What charge is sulfur? He's in group 16. Everybody in group 16 has a -2 charge. Okay. And so now we do the crisscross. You take the charge for the one element and you put it underneath the charge of the other. And you put its absolute value. So no signs, because this means the number of atoms. So there is one sulfur atom. And then you crisscross the other way. The -2, its absolute value goes on the other element below the other element's charge. So that's a 2. 2 atoms of hydrogen balance 1 atom of sulfur. Okay. And then you would rewrite that because, that's a little bit sloppy, but do physically draw the arrows on your notes today. I want to see the arrows. And then you redraw it, just showing the chemical formula. Notice I didn't write the 1 there. You can, but just like when you have 1x plus 2y in calc class or in algebra class, you don't have to write that 1 at the beginning, and you could just say x plus 2y equals z. So I don't need to write the 1 down there either. So I can just finish it as H2S. So that is how you find that chemical name when you combine hydrogen with sulfur. Hydrogen sulfide. All right, so let me just clear off some of this here. Now I'm going to do another one, but this time I'm going to do one that is in the D block dip area. So this whole area here, groups 3 through 12, they have a varying charge because they transition or change. So the charge is the Roman numeral they give you in the problem. Okay, and I'm going to do this one kind of like how that you're going to have to do it. All right, I'm going to find chemicals that have my name in it. Okay, and you might not be able to find one positive and one negative, but look around for a while and see if you can do that. Okay, I have lots of C's and M's on the cations, but I have no M's over here on the anions. Okay, and really the noble gases you don't want to use because they're 0. So there's no M's there. So I'm going to actually use the C as my anion. So I'm going to be backwards from my initials, and I'm going to take its -4. The carbon can go either direction. Okay, that's in that area. We go positive for a while and then we go negative. I'm putting him second because he's an anion. Then I'm going to find somebody with my first name. Okay, here's manganese, Mn, right? When you have the Roman numeral charge, obviously when I'm having you pick these elements, if you pick a Roman numeral, you get to pick a charge. You can pick anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. Now, is all of these elements, can they do those charges? No, they can't. Like copper likes to have only a +1 or a +2. But for your learning and just practicing the crisscross, it's okay. So I'm going to say manganese. I'm going to give my manganese a 3. So manganese 3 carbide is the compound that I'm making. Manganese has a 3 for a Roman numeral, so it's a +3 charge. These guys are always cations. Okay, your transition metals are always positive, so they would always go first. My carbon could be in the front or the back, depending on its charge. In this case, since I'm doing an ionic bond, I need a positive and a negative. And then I crisscross. The 3 goes down here underneath the charge of the other element. And the -4 becomes just a 4, and it goes under the 3 of manganese. So I'm just switching their places, or crisscrossing as it's called. When I rewrite that Mn4C3, that is manganese 3 carbide. Okay, so you don't have to pick a Roman numeral. For the third one that you are doing, you just need to look for your initials. Okay, and you can write them the forward direction or the reverse direction. If your initials aren't there, then just go ahead and pick a random cation and a random anion, but not the 2 examples that I just did. Now, if you have not yet written down your cheat codes, make sure you write them down before you get started, because this you literally will use every week for the entire course. Okay, the charge is the Roman numeral +3, plus or -4, -3, -2, -1, and 0, because those are the noble gases. They don't like to react, so they stay neutral. They do not go into their ion state. Positive ones are cations. Negative ones are anions. 0 charge are atoms. Okay, so go ahead. If you have to watch the video a couple times, that's okay. Some people also like Tyler DeWitt as a YouTuber. You can watch him as well. What are you turning into me? 3 crisscrosses. So I want to see 3 atoms that you crisscross to make 3 ionic bonds. And I want to see the finished formula at the end. All right, have fun.